राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, you are all welcome for VIHE study of Bhakti. Wherever we are in the Canto 6 and the last section. We are starting today chapter 17, Mother Parvati curses Chitraketu. So everybody is aware of the whole story of Chitraketu. Blessed by Angira Rishi, got a son with harsh and shok, and then son was murdered by the stepmothers. And then when everybody was lamenting, Angira came along with Narad Rishi, and they enlightened Maharaj Chitraketu and gave them a Sankrishna mantra, and by chanting that mantra only for how many days? 7 days. So within a week he had a direct darshan of Sankrishna, and after that he was promoted from the humanly state to Vidyadhar state, and then he was, next step is that he was traveling in a very special ship given to him by Supreme Lord, and then the next episode happened, which we will start today. So this chapter has, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. The first section is 1st to 10 verse. Chitraketu laughs at Lord Shiva. So Chitraketu is laughing at Lord Shiva when he was sitting in an assembly of saintly people, and Mother Parvati, the wife of Shiva, was sitting on the lap of Shiva. So jokingly he basically laughed, not to criticize or offend Shiva. That is the most important point to remember. The next section is 11 to 15. Mother Parvati chastises and curses Chitraketu. Why? Just like ordinary mother, when some child make mistake, she definitely chastises that he should not repeat mistake again. So this is actually not a curse, but it is a rectification of Chitraketu. Because Mother Parvati will say, my dear son. And this whole episode, who inspired Mother Parvati to do this job? Lord Sankarshan. Why? He wanted Vritasura to immediately come, because Lord was feeling separation from dear devotee with Vritasura, Chitraketu. The next section is 16 to 25. Chitraketu speaks to Mother Parvati. He pacifies and asks for pardon, but he was not counter-cursing because he was exalted Vaishnava. The next section is 26 to 38. Lord Shiva talks to Parvati. Lord Shiva is glorifying the greatness of a devotee. And the last section is Phalashruti, 39 to 41. Phalashruti means one who sincerely recites, hears this narration of the Lord Shiva and Chitraketu, this episode, he will get benedictions of going back to Godhead. So then, this is the chapter summary, which I think everybody can read. Srila Prabhupada has given this whole chapter summary. What is better, we should read together. The 17th chapter is summarized as follows. Srila Prabhupada writes, this chapter describes Chitraketu's receiving the body of an asura, which means Vritasura. Chitraketu has got the body of asura, means Vritasura, or a demon. Because of joking with Lord Shiva, it's not criticizing. Daksh was criticizing Shiva. So he was joking with Shiva. Because both are exalted personalities, both are actually both worshipping Sankarshan. Lord Shiva worships Sankarshan and Chitraketu worships Sankarshan. So they are more like God brothers. They both have a one Supreme Lord as their worshipper. So at that state, joking is why he was joking. Also, there are reasons which we will read in a purport that Lord Shiva should act like a acharya, that people should not imitate him and commit offenses to Lord Shiva. So basically the mood was completely different. After personally talking with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, King Chitraketu enjoyed life in his aeroplane. It means within 7 days he met Sankarshan or Nilambar, and then he had a direct audience with Lord, and then he was given aeroplane by the Lord, and he was enjoying with the woman of the Vidyadhar planet. But then Prabhupada writes, immediately engaging in the congregational chanting of glories of Lord, he began flying his plane and traveling in outer space. So even he was with the Vidyadhar, beautiful woman, but he was already so advanced that he was only singing glories of Supreme Lord. That is the exalted position of Chitraketu. One day while traveling like this, he wandered into the bowers of Sumeru mountain, where he came upon Lord Shiva embracing Parvati. She was sitting on the lap. Demigods have a different rules and regulation than human beings. Like animals have different rules and regulation than human beings. Animals can meet on the road, they don't bother, because they have their own rules. So demigods have their own rules. So we cannot apply our rules on them. So this is, there are different rules. Driving rules is different in India and Middle East. In England and America, you have to drive on other side. So it's a different rule. So it's not a reason. Upon Lord Shiva embracing, this is a normal in a heavenly planet. And he was sitting surrounded by the assembly of Siddhas, Charanas and great sages. Seeing Lord Shiva in that situation, Chitraketu laughed very loudly. But Parvati became very angry at him and cursed him. Because of this curse, Chitraketu later appeared as the demon Vritasura. This is the answer to the Maharaj Parikshit. How come Vritasura has so much deep devotion in his heart? This is the example given in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Even a devotee at the stage of Bhava Bhakti, because of trace of small offense, may fall down for a while. But all of a sudden, when that block is over, that Bhava Bhakti will manifest without any previous practice. So Vritasura is that example. He was already at the Bhava Bhakti. But because of some little offense towards Parvati took this as offense. And of course, Lord Sankrishna is to rectify the false ego of his disciple. So there was a little false ego. Oh, I am Vidyadhar very quickly in 7 days. This is a little proud that needs to be rectified. So this is the reason that this episode happened. So what point we are making? What is the point we are making? That Bhav Bhakti was stopped because of that. Because of Vaishnava after, because till Bhav Bhakti still traces of offenses remain. And that is usually Vaishnava Aparadha. And this Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. And Parvati is Vaishnavi. So this is a little great offense at the level of Bhava Bhakti. So Bhava Bhakti was checked. And therefore he took a next birth. But all of a sudden that Bhava Bhakti awakened as soon as that the influence of the curse is over and that offense is cleared. And he immediately started praying extraordinarily, which Indra was so much astonished that he was not able to kill him. He was afraid that by killing Vritasura I may be, again suffer the Brahman Hatya. They were killing a saintly person. So some deep devotion was coming from the depth of the heart of Vritasura. The verses of Vritasura are the Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha of a devotee. So, and whole this Vallabha Sampradaya Pushti Marg is focused on these 4 verses of the Vritasura. Their whole Sampradaya is focused on these 4 verses of the Vritasura. The first verse is the Dharma of a devotee. Second verse is the Kama of a devotee. Second verse is Artha of a devotee. Third is Kama and fourth is Moksha. So, Chitraketu, however, not at all afraid of Parvati's curse because he was a devotee. Devotees are never afraid of anything, hell or heaven. And thus he spoke as follows. So this is something which will come across in the verses.
Can I ask a question?
Say?
Yeah, don't you want to ask? You mentioned these 4 verses, the whole Vallabha Sampradaya. So which verses are these? Like you only said Dharma, Tata, Moksha, but which specific verses are these?
These verses are
from Srimad Bhagavatam, you said, right? The 4 verses.
These four verses which were spoken by Chitraketu, by Vritasura. Ahamev. The first verse is Das, Das, Anudas. When I will be the servant of you. I think these are the last 4 verses of the chapter 11, I think, no?
6, 11, 24.
Huh?
6, 11, 24, 25, 26.
11, last 4 verses of the chapter 11.
Last verse of chapter 11. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. So first verse is Das Das Anudas. So this is the dharma of a devotee. Second is verse, I don't need the planet of Brahma or even liberation. I need your association. This is the earth of a devotee. And the calm is that like a baby bird waiting for the mother, or the calf waiting for the cow, or a chaste wife waiting for a husband who is outside. This is a calm of a devotee. And the moksha of a devotee is, I'm not able to go back to Godhead, but even if I get some birth somewhere, I should always get association of devotee and should not be entangled in the material life again. This is the meaning of these 4 verses. Is it okay?
Prabhuji, so Chitraketu Maharaj is on the state of Bhav.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Chitraketu Maharaj is on the state of Bhav.
Yes, Chitraketu Maharaj was at this stage of Bhav, right. But this is the example. This example is in a nectar of devotion. Therefore, no one is responsible for his happiness and distress. One is controlled by the influence of material nature in the material world, yet one thinks himself the doer of everything. This is the verse of Bhagavad Gita. Prakriti kriya manai gunaini karmani sarva karta aham. Aham karta murak karta ahmiti manyate. Okay? This is the verse. So one is sometimes cursed and sometimes favored, and thus he sometimes enjoy in the upper planetary system and sometimes suffer in the lower planets. But all these situations are the same because they are within the material world. If you go to the heaven or go to the hell, both are in the material world. So it is a suffering, like falling in a salt ocean. So wherever you see is the ocean, it's not no sweet there. It's a salty ocean, so everything is salt. None of these positions has any factual existence, for all of them are temporary. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate controller because the material world is created, maintained, and annihilated under His control, while He nonetheless remains neutral to these different transformations of the material world in time and space. The material external energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead is in charge of this material world. The Lord helps the world by creating situation for the living entities within it. When Chitraketu spoke in this way, all the members in the great assembly in which Lord Shiva and Parvati were present were astonished. Why? Because he was a great learned and self-realized person. Then Lord Shiva began speaking about the devotees of the Lord. Devotees of the Lord. A devotee is neutral in all conditions of life, whether in the heavenly planet or hellish planet, whether liberated from the material world or conditioned by it, and whether blessed with happiness or subjected to distress. These are merely dualities created by external energy. Being influenced by the external energy, the living entity accepts the gross and subtle body, and in this illusory position, he apparently suffers miseries. Although everyone is part and parcel of Supreme Lord, but he feels his suffering. The so-called demigod consider themselves independent lords, and in this way, they are misled from understanding that all living entities are part of Supreme. This chapter concludes by glorifying the devotees and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what this line is there? The so-called demigod consider themselves independent lords, and in this way they are misled from understanding that all living entities are part of Lord. These are some verses which we'll come across where Lord Shiva says, I myself, Brahma, Narad, and other great sages cannot know Lord. Why? Because we are demigods, we think we are independent. So this is what is written in this line, because a couple of verses are spoken by Lord Shiva in this line. So this is the summary of this chapter by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He says 17th chapter describe how Chitraketu as a leader of the Vidyadhara left at large at Shiva and received a curse from Shiva's wife to become Virtasur. Now verse number 1, first section. Shri Shukavacha yatascha antrahito anantastasyai krtva dishe namaha Vidyadhar Sachitraketus Chachara Gagane Charaha Yatascha Antarhito. Antarhito means disappeared. Who disappeared? Lord Nilambar, Sankarshan. Anantas, he is Ananta. Sankarshan is Ananta. Tais Kirtva Dishe Namha, in which direction he disappeared, he offered obeisance in that direction. In early days in these ISKCONs, when there were only 11 gurus, when the guru was flying, they were flying in the aeroplane, the devotees used to pay obeisance in that direction. We have seen those days. So this is maybe after reading this verse, that in that direction you have to pay obeisances in which he departed. Tasya kirtva dishe namha, in that direction the Chitraketu paid obeisance. Vidyadhara Chitraketu, now Chitraketu is Vidyadhara. Chachara gagane charaha. Gagane means in the sky. Now he is freely moving in the sky. Gagane vicharaha. So this is translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Sukadeva Goswami said, after offering obeisance to the direction from which Anant, the Supreme Personal Godhead, had disappeared, Chitraketu began traveling in outer space as the head of the Vidyadhara. So, summary of the verses: after offering obeisance, Chitraketu began traveling in the outer space. Yata means in that direction. Verse number 2 and 3 together. Salaksham varsha lakshananam avyahatak balen indriya stuyamano mahayogi munibhi siddhacharanai kulachalendraha dronesho nana sankalpa siddhisho Reme Vidyadhar Stribhi Gopayan Harim Ishwaram. Gopayam Harim Ishwaram. The last part is important. So now this is about the being praised by the great sages and saints and by the inhabitant of Siddhalok and Charanlok. So Chitraketu has that great glory because he's met Supreme Lord directly. Anybody, any other examples after meeting Supreme Lord? They got great glorification and reception with pomp and. Huh? Yes, that is right. I was looking for this answer. Dhruva Maharaj, right. You are listening me and hearing perfectly?
Yes.
Okay, this is Ekanta, right?
Yes.
Oh, Ekanta from Omsk. Okay. So yes, this is. So so anybody who really is devotee is praised by the demigods, and he has all the good qualities of the demigods. Which is that verse? Yasyasi bhakti bhagavati akinchana sarve guna samasate suraha, right? So based on these, why the devotee is praised? Because of this. So this is what I'm saying. When you see one word, then in your mind you should really immediately try to Google in your mind what are the other similar incidents. That's what Prabhupada's really purpose. Exactly that word Srila Prabhupada quotes in some verse, exactly same word somewhere else,
Yeah.
just to corroborate his statement. So this you have to make your brain Google like that. When you see one word, immediately you think what it means. So the most powerful mystic yogi wandered, most powerful mystic yogi, Chitraketu. And who is Shiva? He is a greatest yogi. So both are most powerful, greatest mystic yogi. Wander about enjoying life for millions of years with bodily strength and senses free from deterioration. He traveled within the valley of Sumeru mountain, which is the place of perfection for various kind of mystic power. In those valleys, he enjoyed life with women of Vidyadhar Lok by chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord Hari. So Srila Prabhupada's purport is on the last word. And here Srila Prabhupada writes, it is to be understood that Maharaj Chitraketu, although surrounded by beautiful women from Vidyadhar Loka, did not forget to glorify the Lord by chanting the holy name of the Lord. It has been proved in many places that one who is not contaminated by any material condition, who is a pure devotee engaged in chanting the glories of the Lord, should be understood to be perfect. Prabhupada said it has been proved in many places. So you can give some examples. Haridas Thakur, the prostitute came. Right? Some other good example? Prabhupada not give example. He says there have been many examples. It has been proved in many places. What are the other examples? Sorry? Jadabharta. There is no enjoyment for him. Jadabharta is more exalted position. This is different context. You may be you are surrounded by so many beautiful, alluring, paraphernalia, but you are not affected by that. Yes?
Pundarika Vidyaniki.
Say again?
Pundarika Vidyaniki.
Pundrik
From
Vidyanidhi.
Chaitanya Lila.
Pundrik Vidyanidhi.
Pundrik Vidyanidhi, yes, he was like a king, but he was a great devotee, not influenced by the opulences. One other.
Lord Shiva is not.
Rachetas?
Lord Shiva is not.
Who?
Lord Shiva.
Rachetas?
Lord Shiva, Kamadeva tried to.
Wait, who?
Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva himself.
And Kamadeva tried to make him fail, but he could.
Bhisham Pitama,
Bishop Pitama.
living in a palaces with surrounded by so many royal paraphernalia, but he was a staunch brahmachari all his life. Hanuman? Who? Hanuman. Yes, Hanuman, when he was searching for Sita, he was thinking himself, what I'm looking, when everybody is sleeping, all the women and palace of the Ravan. He said, no, I am searching for Sita, so my heart is very pure. Yeah, Hanuman is also an example. Somebody else, you were saying something?
Amrish Maharaj.
Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj, there's no such allurement for him, he's a king. The other example is Siddhis came to the Maharaj Rishabdev, he refused them.
But he is incarnation of God.
Huh?
He is incarnation of Supreme Lord.
But so what? The Chitrake, the Maharaj Prithu was incarnation also, but
Like this
he
Narayan.
became angry.
Narayan Rishi can also be an example.
Yeah, Narayan is another example. He was not allured by, when he was doing tapasya, he was not allured even by the Kamdev himself. Yeah, the whole point is, practical application is that if we are fixed in devotional service, the material allurements will not distract us from chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You may be invited in big marriage ceremony, but still you have to chant your rounds. You have not to forget this. Maybe you are going in some functions, but always remember that this is our main business, right?
Narad also not got elevated.
Who?
Narad not got elevated Kamadev.
Narad himself. Some good examples, very solid examples.
Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj.
That was 5 years.
He can also
He gave up all woes. Chakravarti Pat writes, he gave up all woes for various powers which were available there and glorified the Lord. It means there were so many powers available for Chitraketu to avail, but he gave those up. He was absorbed in hearing about and chanting about qualities of the Lord. So that was his qualification, a great qualification of a great devotee. Now verse number 4 and 5. Ekada savimanena Vishnu datena bhasvata. That aeroplane was given by Vishnu datena, given by Lord Vishnu. So he was on an aeroplane which was given by Lord Vishnu. Anything, something is given to somebody by Lord Vishnu, other things you remember?
Veena to Narad.
Yes?
Veena to Narad.
Yes, Veena to Narad is given by Lord Vishnu himself, that is right. Veena is given to Narad by Lord Vishnu, that is normal in the, one of the other examples. Somebody given something by Lord himself. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the Gunja Mala and Govardhan Shana to Raghunath Das Goswami. Right? Gopal Bhatt Goswami has a piece of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, which they still show in Radharaman temple. Kopin piece.
Kopin and his sitting stool type.
Sitting stool.
Yes,
Sitting
sir.
stool. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave personal things to some devotees. Some other example? Lord gave something personally to somebody. And Narad is a good example. Dhruva Loka given by that the Lord is still himself lived there. That is Swedeep. Lord is living there. It's a Vaikuntha and material world. So Dattena, Vishnu Dattena. Grisham Dadarshe Gachan Grisham. Giri means mountain, Isham means the king or the controller of it. This is Grisham means Lord Shiva. Oh, it's disappeared. Zoom disappeared. Connecting, trying. Right, he's again connecting. Grisham Dadasre Gachan Paritam Siddhacharina. Paritam means surrounded.
Recording in progress.
Paritan means surrounded. So Ekda means once upon a time in an aeroplane given by Lord Vishnu, which was Bhasvata. Bhasvata means which was shining brilliantly. Bhasvata. Bhaskar means sun. Sun is called Bhaskar. It means brilliant like sun. Grisham Dadarshe Gachan. While he was flying, he saw Lord Shiva. Paritam Siddhacharana, he was surrounded by. Paritam means surrounded by. Like periphery. In English it is a periphery. Paritam Siddhacharana Alinga Ankirtam. Alinga Ankirtam means having Parvati on the leg.
We don't hear anything.
Say again? Huh? Some question is good, but
We have some internet problems.
Huh?
So that's why they should hear now.
मुझे उधर से होगा unmute.
Hare Krishna, yes?
We cannot hear sound, Prabhuji.
Ajay has
We cannot
also.
hear. Oh, here, now we can hear.
Oh, sound is not. Shall I connect from my computer? Anyway, net is same.
It started working, yes, fine. Please continue. Thank
He was
you.
here.
Is it okay?
Yes.
We are reading verse number 4 and 5. Ekada, once upon a time, Vimanena in the aeroplane, Vishnu Datta given by Vishnu, and we have brainstormed what is given by Lord Vishnu to whom. So we have certain example of certain gifts given by Lord to some dear devotees. And all of you got something, but you never say yourself because you are misers. Many times you came to the temple, you got garlands. Did you get garland or not? Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
It's a gift given by Lord. Many times you are given Mahaprasad by the Lord directly. Is not that Lord? You don't think that deed is not Lord? Yes, all devotees get something from Lord. So you don't think that only he got some aeroplane. You got some gift from Lord also. Or we got sometime, I have this mala I got from Krishna Balaram. This gift I got from Krishna Balaram. See? Gift from Lord. Number 2, gift from Lord Krishna Balaram. Hari Bol. So you all are fortunate, right? Hare Krishna. Grisham Dadarshe Gachan, he saw Lord Shiva while he was flying. Paritam Siddha Charanai, surrounded by celestial beings. Alingyan Anki Kritam Devim. Devim means Parvati, wife of Shiva. Alingan means embracing or sitting on a lap. Bahuna Muni Sangsadi. What Devyaha Shravatya. And then he actually spoke and left, which Parvati could hear within the hearing distance of Parvati. Jaha means laughing. Sochaistad Antike. Tad Antike Srila Prabhupada translates in the vicinity. So one time while King Chitraketu was traveling in outer space on the brilliantly effulgent Bhasvata aeroplane given to him by Lord Vishnu, he saw Lord Shiva surrounded by Siddha and Charana, and Shiva was sitting. And Shiva was sitting in an assembly of great saintly person and embracing Parvati on his lap with his arm. Chitraketu laughed loudly and spoke within the hearing of Parvati. So Srila Prabhupada's purport, Chitraketu Sila. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in this connection, or this is the verse which we will see again. The purport of that verse is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead wanted to bring Chitraketu to Vaikuntha Lok as soon as possible. The Lord's plan was that Chitraketu be cursed by Parvati to become Vritasur, so that in his next life he could quickly return home back to Godhead. There have been many instances in which a devotee acting as a demon has been brought to the kingdom of the God by the mercy of the Lord. There have been many instances in which the devotee acting as a demon. What are the other instances where devotee acting as a demon? Jai and Vijay, they are acting as a Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, Kumbhakarna, and Lord came to bring them back to home. Yes. Some other? Huh? Jagai Madhai. Nityananda was also not different than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We wanted to deliver them. Okay. Say?
Vibhishana. From Ramalila.
Vibhishan. Well, he appeared in the demons, but he was a great devotee of Ram and Hanuman favored him. Vibhishana.
Jarasandha, husband of Tulsi.
Jarasandha came to land, I don't know. He was killed by Bhima.
Bhishmadev can also be.
He's not acting as a demon.
Not exactly demon, but on the other part.
He was acting on others, and so that Prabhupada writes, sometimes devotee may fight against Lord just to please Lord. So Bhisham is not demon. Ghatotkacha. But he was invited by Lord to come to his abode. He was killed by Karna. So he will not be immediately delivered. I don't know exactly. But some good examples are
Bali Maharaj.
Bali Maharaj, they are all the Prahlad, Bali, they are in a demon, but they are Mahajan. They appeared in a Asur Kula, but they are all Mahajans. So anyway, when Prabhupada writes this, we should at least do a little brainstorm to find out. There has been many instances in which the devotee is acting as a demon. Devotee acting as a demon. Devotee acting as a demon. Jay and Vijay are devotee acting as a demon. Which other devotees are acting as a Sorry?
We do this often. Devotees but act as demons.
We ourselves.
Or we ourselves are devotees acting as a demon in our activities. So in everybody there is a divine nature and demonic nature. So sometimes devotee is acting as a demon.
Jalandhar. Jalandhar.
Jalandhar acted as a demon. Jalandhar and Tulsi, this episode. Anyway, this is something, Prabhupada says many instances, many means at least we should have more than two. More than two is plural. For Parvati to be embraced by Lord Shiva was natural in relationship between husband and wife. This was nothing extraordinary for Chitraketu to see. Nonetheless, Chitraketu left loudly to see the Lord Shiva in that situation, even though he should not have been done so. Thus he was eventually cursed, and this curse was the cause of his returning home back to Godhead. This is the verse quoted Chitraka. This is something which Chakravarti Pad writes, Bhaktim Bhutim Hari Dattva, this same translation says purport in Sanskrit Prabhupada is quoted. So Chakravarti Rath writes, the Lord feeling separation from Chitraketu. Lord was feeling separation from Chitraketu. And Narsingadev told to Prahlad Maharaj, Kshamasva Mam, please forgive me, I came late, you suffered for me. So this is the same thing, like Lord is feeling separation from Chitraketu. After giving him wealth along with bhakti, gave him the body of Vritasur by the curse of Parvati and brought him to his side. This is Chakravarti Pad's words. Lord is feeling separation from Chitraketu. Lord is feeling, this is what Lord Vishnu told to Durvasa, that I cannot enjoy anything alone. Without devotees I am never satisfied. So I feel separation from the devotees. So like the devotee is feeling separation from Lord, similarly Lord is feeling separation from his dear devotees. Ye yatamam prapadyante. We are feeling separation from Lord, Lord is feeling separation from us. So the good example is Holiness Bhakti, His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj used to say, we may not be Krishna conscious when we are chanting Hare Krishna, but Krishna is devotee conscious that he is chanting my name. You may not be Krishna conscious when you are chanting, but Krishna is devotee conscious, he knows you are chanting his name. So this is the theme of this verse. Verse number 6. चित्रकेतु वाचा एष लोक गुरु साक्षात् धर्मं वक्ता शरीरिणाम् आसते मुख्यं सभायां वै मिथुनी भूयः भार्याः. This glorification of Lord Shiva, Esha Loka Guru, he is the Guru of the universe, Sakshat, direct, Dharmam Vakta, and he speak upon the religious principles, Saririnam, to the living entities, embodied souls, Asate Mukhya Sabhayam, he is sitting in a great assembly of great devotees, Mithuni Bhuya Bharya, and embracing his own wife. Bharya means wife. So Chitraketu said, Lord Shiva, the spiritual master of general populace, is the best of all living entities who has accepted material bodies. He enunciates the system of religion. Yet how wonderful it is that he is embracing his wife. Prabhupada writes, he enunciates the system of religion. You can say something about that? Rudra Sampradaya, one Rudra Sampradaya. Lord Shiva has his own disciplic succession, Rudra Sampradaya. Vishnu Swami, the principal Acharya in Rudra Sampradaya is Vishnu Swami. And most popular Acharya now is Sripad Vallabh Acharya. And our great deity of Gopal, which appeared to Madhavendra Puri, is worshipped by this Sampradaya now. Anybody else, you know the Rudra Sampradaya devotees in Bhagvatam? Fourth canto of Shiva. Prachetas are direct disciple of Rudra Sampradaya. Rudra Geet given by Lord Shiva to Prachetas, and they directly has meeting with Lord Vishnu, right? Yet how wonderful it is that he is embracing his wife Parvati in the midst of an assembly of great saintly persons. Prabhupada has no comment on this verse, and nobody has comment on this verse, because this statement of Chitraketu is not enlivening any Acharya, because this is last line is not good. Chitraketu is continuing. Jatadhara Tivar Tapa. This is Lord Shankar. Jatadhara, his hairs are matted. Tivar Tapa, he is doing severe austerities. Brahmavadi Sabhapati, he is Brahmavadi. It means he speaks on the Vedas. Sabhapati, he is the head of the assembly. Anki Kritya Striyam Chasate, and then he is embracing a woman. Gatta Hiri, Hiri means shame. Hiri means shame, Gat means shameless. Prakrito Yatha, like ordinary men. Hiri means Lord Shiva, whose hair is matted on his head, has certainly undergone great austerities and penance. Indeed, he is the president in the assembly of strict followers of Vedic principle, Brahmavadi. Nonetheless, he is seated with his wife on his lap in the midst of the saintly person and is embracing her as if he were a shameless, ordinary human being. Shameless word is Gatta Hiri. Gatta Hiri. Srila Prabhupada writes, Chitraketu appreciated the exalted position of Lord Shiva, and therefore he remarked at how wonderful it is that Lord Shiva was acting like an ordinary human being. He appreciated Lord Shiva's position, but when he saw Lord Shiva sitting in the midst of the saintly person and acting like a shameless ordinary man, he was astonished. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks, that although Chitraketu criticized Lord Shiva, he did not offend Lord Shiva like Daksha. Daksha considered Lord Shiva insignificant, but Chitraketu expressed his wonder at Lord Shiva's being situated in that way. One good example is Ramanand Rai. He was massaging the young girls but he was never affected by that, Ramanand Rai. So Shiva is non-mortal being, Chakravarti Pad said. Since he is the Lord. However, one should not think that Chitraketu was an offender like Daksha. Verse number 8. Prayashah. Yes.
It is a similarity we are seeing, discussed here. So even in today's environment, this would is not considered acceptable. So when that happened, it was natural for somebody to do a mistake like this. Yes, we cannot understand Lord Shiva, we cannot understand what the activities are, but for us, such a arrangement is beautiful.
Upcoming purpose will clarify that Chitraketu was understanding the greatness of Shiva and Shiva was understanding the greatness of Chitraketu. But Chitraketu wanted that Lord Shiva Lord Vishnu has never acted in public like that. So Lord Shiva should not act in public like that. Why? Because Lord Krishna says, if I do some mistake, people will imitate me and become Varna Shankar. So similarly, Shankar is also a leader, a great demigod. If he set a precedent, then the other people will follow, do the same thing. So he wanted actually to glorify Lord Shiva, that he is not disturbed in this association like that, but still he should not set a precedent for the other people to imitate Lord Shiva and offend Lord Shiva. Like Rasa Leela, same thing like Rasa Leela, Krishna can do, like there the example given, Shiva can drink the poison, but anybody, ordinary people drink, they will die. So Shiva can do this, but anybody else can do this, then he will be condemned. So Shiva should not be example for others to imitate, and by that they can offend Shiva, and again like Daksh go to the tribulations of offending Vaishnava. So Chitraketu has a good sense, for good purpose you are doing that. It will come in upcoming purpose.
Thank you, Guru.
So next verse says, ordinary conditioned person generally embrace their wives and enjoy their company in solitary place. How wonderful it is that Lord Mahadev, although a great master of austerity, is embracing his wife openly in the midst of an assembly of great saints. So, Srila Prabhupada writes, Mahavartadhara indicate brahmachari, who has never fallen down. Lord Shiva is counted among the best of the yogis, yet he embraces wife in the midst of the great saintly person. Chitraketu appreciated how great Lord Shiva was to be unaffected even in this situation, that situation. Therefore, Chitraketu was not an offender. He merely expressed his wonder. Chakravarti Pad writes, Mahavartadhar means brahmachari from birth, a leader of the yogis. That he was embracing his wife shows his inconceivable power. Now verse 9, Sri Shuka Vacha, Bhagavan api tashrutva prasya agada dhira nirpa tushnim babhuva sadasi sabhayascha tad anuvartaha Bhagavan api tashrutva. Bhagavan api tashrutva means Lord Shiva heard that. Prahasya, he simply smiled. So this prahas means smiled. Sukadeva Goswami continued, my dear king, after hearing Chitraketu's statement, Lord Shiva, the most powerful personality, Bhagavan, whose knowledge is fathomless, word is Agadadhi. Agadadhi. Agadadhi means his knowledge is fathomless. Simply smiled, Prahasa, and remained silent. Tushrim Babuha. And all the members of the assembly followed the Lord by not saying anything. They also kept silent. And Srila Prabhupada writes, Chitraketu's purpose in criticizing Lord Shiva is somewhat mysterious and cannot be understood by common men. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, however, had made the following observation. Lord Shiva, being the most exalted Vaishnava and one of the most powerful demigods, is able to do anything he desires. Although he was extremely exhibiting the behavior of a common man and not following etiquette, such action cannot diminish his exalted position. The difficulty is that a common man seeing Lord Shiva's behavior might follow his example. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Yadid acharati sresha tadadevatro janaha kurute lokastad anuvartate. A common man might also criticize Lord Shiva, like Daksha, who suffered the consequences for his criticism. King Chitraketu desired that Lord Shiva cease this external behavior so that others might be saved from criticizing him and thus becoming offenders. If one thinks that Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the only perfect personality, whereas the demigods, even such demigod as Lord Shiva, are inclined to improper social affair, he is an offender. This statement, you read it again, what you get from this. If one thinks Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the only perfect personality, whereas demigods, even such demigods as Lord Shiva, are inclined to improper social affairs, he is an offender. Pashandi. Anybody can figure out the meaning of this?
It is not that only the Supreme Personality is perfect. Even the demigods can be perfect, like Lord Shiva.
Demigod can be perfect.
They are also not ordinary beings. Lord Shiva and other demigods, they are also not ordinary beings.
Shiva and other demigods are not ordinary men. They are not ordinary men.
Offense, Prabhuji. It is implied second offense.
Namaprad.
Namaprad second,
Is one of the criticizing Vaishnava as a Namaprad. Yeah, exactly. This is in this line. This verse says, only Vishnu and not thinking the other Vaishnavas like gurus. All the demigods are Vaishnavas. So if we criticize Vaishnava and think on Lord Vishnu it's like a neophyte devotee who gives only respect to the deities and not respect the devotees, then he is an offender. It's something, the principle is that giving respect to Vishnu and not to the Vaishnava is a offender. This is something actually in a Vedas which Srila Prabhupada is quoting, particularly about Lord Shiva and Vishnu. This is the verse like that. Considering all this, Chitraketu was somewhat harsh in his behavior with Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, who is always deep in knowledge, Agadadhi, could understand Chitraketu's purpose, and therefore he was not at all angry. Rather, he simply smiled and remained silent. The members of the assembly surrounding Lord Shiva could also understand Chitraketu's purpose. It means they were also intelligent. Consequently, following the behavior of Lord Shiva, they did not protest. Instead of following their master, they remained silent. Instead, okay. If the members of the assembly thought that Chitraketu had blasphemed Lord Shiva, they would certainly have left at once, blocking their ears with their hands. They never did this. It means it was not offense of Chitraketu. Now this is Chakravarti path. Why did Shiva smile? Chitraketu wants to establish the truth about my conduct in this world. Chitraketu wants to establish the truth about my conduct in this world, that I am beyond criticism. Like Ambarish Maharaj was, Durvasa Rishi is a sort of what Durvasa was doing actually. He was telling the world, Lord, this devotee is so magnanimous that the disc of the Lord is coming for the rescue of his devotee. So actually Durvasa was glorifying the greatness of Ambarish Maharaj. So Chitraketu is actually glorifying the Lord Shiva. This is what Lord Shiva is thinking. That Chitraketu is glorifying me. He is establishing the truth about my conduct. Because he had fathomless knowledge. Why? Because he is Agadadhi. Not understood by anyone. He understood Chitraketu's intention. Shiva understood Chitraketu's intention. Chitraketu's intention was as follows. What is that? Shiva is the Lord. There is no harm if he perform acts which appears wrong. Those who are ignorant will criticize him, and for their offense will be destroyed. Like Daksha. If today I can establish that he has proper conduct, it will be beneficial for the world. Vishnu benefit the world because he follows the proper conduct. But Lord Shiva is inauspicious because of his apparent misconduct. He should not have infamy. Shiva thought, I will not become angry at his harsh words, which are beneficial for the world. The assembly, understanding Shiva's intention, also remained silent, did not become angry. If his attention has been to criticize Shiva, the assembly would have blocked their ears and left. It is said, Bhagavan Nindanam Shrutva, upon hearing such intolerable blasphemy of a Lord, several members of the assembly covered their ears, walked out angrily, and cursed Chedi. This is Shishupal 1074-39, when Shishupal was criticizing Krishna. So last verse of this section. Iti etad virya vidushi brovana bhava ashobhanam rushaha devi drishtya mrjitamba abhimanina abhimanini. Okay. Not knowing the prowess of Lord Shiva and Parvati, Chitraketu strongly criticized them. His statements were not at all pleasing, and therefore Goddess Parvati, being very angry, spoke as follows to Chitraketu, who thought himself better than Lord Shiva in controlling the senses. somebody said Lord Shiva smiled. Why? Because he said, I am actually having my own wife on my lap, and you are having many Vidyadhar and playing with them. So how can you laugh on me? So basically, this is the reason Shiva smiled. He said, you are having so many Vidyadhar women with you. I am having my wife. What is the difference? What are they? Like the cow criticizes the buffalo that you are black. And buffalo goes and tells cow, your tail is black. The whole buffalo is black. So, dear Chitraketu, you are full black. So he left. This is joke. That's what the whole thing, the episode is joke between Chitraketu and Lord Shiva. There's a one purport of Srila Prabhupada's very, something which brings a controversy between the woman and man. It will come soon. Srila Prabhupada writes, although Chitraketu never meant to insult Lord Shiva, he should not have criticized the Lord, even though the Lord was transgressing social customs. It is said, Tejasam na doshya. One who is very powerful should be understood to be faultless. For example, one should not find fault with sun, although it evaporates urine from the streets. The most powerful cannot be criticized by any ordinary man or even by a great personality. Chitraketu should have known that Lord Shiva, although sitting in that way, was not to be criticized. The difficulty was that Chitraketu, having become a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, Sankarshan, was somewhat proud at having achieved Lord Sankarshan's favor, and therefore thought that he could now criticize anyone, even Lord Shiva. That is the mood of Parvati. That is the mood of Parvati.
Recording in progress.
That is the mood of Parvati, right? Oh, somebody else who is also devotee of Lord Shiva and therefore is puffed up. Nal Kuber and Manigiri. This is the same mood. Where are my devotees gone? Hare Krishna. Online devotees, are you with me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I can't see your smiling faces like Lord Shiva.
We can see you.
This kind of pride in a devotee is never tolerated. So devotee should never have a pride. A Vaishnava should always remain a very humble and meek and offer respect to others. Trinadapi sunichena. This verse in this chapter is three times quoted by Prabhupada. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than a straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree. Okay? In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name. A Vaishnava should not try to minimize anyone else's position. It is better to remain humble and meek and chant the Hare Krishna mantra. The word Nirjita Atma Abhimanini indicate that Chitraketu thought himself a better controller of senses than Lord Shiva. Abhimani means little proud. Although actually he was not. Because of all these considerations, Mother Parvati was somewhat angry at Chitraketu. Chakravarti Pada writes, Chitraketu did not know Shiva's powers. The independent Lord will not be affected by anyone's teachings. The words were not auspicious because one should not give teaching to the Lord. He was considered proud because he spoke fearlessly. He had false identity, thinking, I have brought Paramatma Sankarshan under control. One should not think that Parvati became angry because she did not know the intention of Shiva and assembly. I cannot accept these beneficial words because he does not criticize once, thrice or 4 times, but many times. That is the reason for her anger. So Chitraketu did the same offense many times. This is what Parvati is thinking. Now next section, Mother Parvati chastises and curses Chitraketu. Shri Parvati Vacha Ayam Kim Adhuna Loke Shasta Dandadhara Prabhu Asmad Vidhanam Dushtanam Nirlajjanam Cha Viprakirta. Goddess Parvati said, Alas, has this upstart now received a post from which to punish shameless person like us? Has he been appointed ruler, carrier of the rod of punishment? Is he now the only master of everything? No purport. He makes himself superior to others. One who gives benefit by punishing. Viprakrit means one who gives benefit by punishing. The good word to remember, Viprakrit. Srila Prabhupada's translation of this word. Viprakrit, restrainer. So restrainer means, see, this is a very good word. Means one who gives benefit by punishing. Like Narad gave benefit to Nal, Kuber and Mani giver by punishing. That they got the direct darshan of Krishna and delivered by Krishna. So this is sort of blessing in the disguise of curse. The blessing in disguise of curse. Viprikrit. Vipri means Brahman. Kirt means function. Because when Brahman functions, they do curse, but it's actually a blessing. Like when the spiritual master chastises somebody, it means it's a great blessing. Any good example where somebody wanted really to be chastised?
Advaitacharya.
Huh?
Advaitacharya.
Yes, this is, I was looking, Advaitacharya. He said, all the times I am 35 or 50 years older than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He respects me because I am the disciple of his guru's guru. Now I have to do something that he should chastise me. Then I think he loves me. And then what did he do?
Started preaching Mahabharata.
He started preaching impersonalism. And Mahaprabhu really kicked him. What, you are breaking my bones and my limbs. And then he was laughing and chanting, this is I got blessing. I got blessing. So this is the example I was looking. Maybe you can have some others. Somebody has something? This chapter I was reading on the plane.
Nityananda Prabhu kicks one devotee.
Huh?
Nityananda Prabhu kicks one devotee who is not organized in the
Nityanand Prabhu?
kicks.
To who?
Shivanand Sen.
Shivanand Sen. He kicked Shivanand Sen?
During the mismanagement of Prashadam, Nityananda got angry and he cursed that all your sons should get died. So Shivanand Sen was happy, but the mother was not happy.
They are saying Nityanand Prabhu was angry and Shivanand Sen and cursed him. So Shivananda was happy. So maybe some other episode like that. Verse 12. Na veda dharmam kila padam yoni na brahma putra bhragunardadya na vai kumara kapilo manuscha yena nishedanti ati vartiman haram. Haram means Lord Shiva. Har. Alas, Lord Brahma, Padamja, who has taken birth from the lotus flower, does not know the principle of religion, nor do the great saints like Bhrigu and Nard, nor the 4 Kumaras headed by Sant Kumar. Manu and Kapil have not also forgotten the religious principle. I suppose it is to be because of this that they have not tried to stop Lord Shiva from behaving improperly. So he is above all these. It means Chitraketu think he is above all these personalities. Chakravarti Pad is not speaking. Verse 13. Esham anudheya padam jayupadam vajayugam jagat gurum mangala mangalam swayam Yaha kshatrah bandho paribhuyashurim prasashati dhritistad ayam mi dandaya. This Chitraketu is the lowest of Kshatriya because he was king. For he has impudently overridden Brahma and other demigods by insulting Lord Shiva, upon whose lotus feet they always meditate. Lord Shiva is personified religion and a spiritual master of the entire world, and therefore Chitraketu must be punished. What is that? Jagat Gurum Mangala Mangalam Mangala Mangalam Swayam. Esha Anudheya. Esha means Lord Shiva. Anudheya means always meditating. Padamboj means his lotus feet. Both Yugmam. His Jagat Guru. Prashasri Dhirastad Ayam Hi Dandaya. So he is now, he must be punished. Srila Prabhupada writes, all the members of the assembly were exalted Brahmins and self-realized souls, but they did not say anything about the conduct of Lord Shiva. Now Prabhupada is setting a scene. All the members of the assembly were exalted Brahmanas and self-realized souls, but they did not say anything about conduct of Lord Shiva, who was embracing goddess Parvati on his lap, and they were listening his discourse. Chitraketu nonetheless criticized Lord Shiva, and therefore the opinion of Parvati was that he should be punished. When other great saintly people were not criticizing, why he was criticizing? He surpassed the Devatas, Chitraketu. Means that by his constant criticism, he considered Devatas in the assembly to be ignorant. It means he has offended not only Shiva, he has offended all the assembly of the demigods. Therefore his offense is more to be punished and he should be criticized, because they don't know the religion. They are not saying anything. Why you are saying something? So it means they all are considered ignorant. He chastised the Guru of the Lord. Chitraketu is chastising the Guru of the Lord, Jagat Guru. Kirtvain Agyan Matva. This is Karma Sandra Jiva Goswami, not translated. Verse number 14. Nayam Harati Vekunta Pada Mula Upasarpanam Sambhavitah matistabadaha sadhubhi paryupashitam. This person is puffed up because of his achievement, thinking I am the best. He does not deserve to approach the shelter of Lord Vishnu's lotus feet, Vaikuntha, which are worshipped by all saintly persons, for he is impudent, thinking himself greatly important. Stabadha, impudent. Sadhu bhi, by a great saintly person. So he is not fit for going to Naya Maharati Vaikuntha. He is not fit to go to the Vaikuntha. Pada Moola Sprana, to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Srila Prabhupada writes, if the devotee think that he is very much advanced in devotional service, he is considered puffed up and unfit to sit beneath the shelter of lotus feet. Lord's lotus feet, what it means? Vishnu Padaya. Vishnu Padaya. Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale. So he is not fit. Anybody who think I am great devotee is not able to use the title Vishnu Padaya. What it means? So it means humbleness. So Prabhupada was once asked by a newspaper reporter, are you the spiritual master of great George Harrison? Prabhupada kept silent, then he said, no, I am servant of everybody. See, I am servant of everybody. When Prabhupada is writing these things, he said, even if somebody is, Prabhupada is from the Golok Dham, he came on the planet Earth, but he never, he never posed as that he is the most advanced. He was so simple and humble. Once the devotees were at the airport, there was a much more crowd. Therefore, one leader was announcing, so all the devotees should come to the right side. So all devotees, Prabhupada also took his bag and he was going to right. Prabhupada, not you. He said, I am also devotee. Prabhupada, I am also devotee. So it means he was thinking himself just like other devotees. So this is the most important thing. If a devotee thinks that he is very much advanced in devotional service, he is considered puffed up and unfit to sit beneath the shelter of the lotus feet, Lord's lotus feet. Again, this instruction by Lord Chaitanya is applicable. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sushnu sashunamani namanadena kirtanya salahari. Yesterday I was speaking on Sikshastak verses in Bangalore. Only in English I covered 2 verses. But in Hindi, in the morning, I just completed the whole 8 verses from the last chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. But 2 verses in English, I was also relishing because I never before discussed like that. A lot of good insights were there. So this verse we reached, but we never discussed this verse. Unless one is humble and meek, one cannot qualify to sit at the lotus feet of the Lord. Sambhavita Mati means he considers himself a great devotee. Sambhavita Mati. I am great devotee. So verse 15, our last verse of this section. Attaha, yes.
So how to stop this thing? Like when we get some knowledge or something, we generally get puffed up or we think that I am greater than other persons. So how do
I am greater than others, then we think that the philosophy which we are learning is, if you have senior devotee, take association and give respect. If you have equal devotee, make friends. If there is devotee who is a neophyte, have a compassion. If we follow this principle, then we are in the line of devotional service. If we want to bring the senior devotee down, We want equals to be cursed, and we want the neophyte to become our servant, then we are materialistic. Prabhupada said this is the materialistic philosophy and this is the devotional philosophy. They are just different and just opposite to one another. In material world, you want to bring big people down. You want to, your competitor, you want to crush. New people, you want to keep always under you. There's materialistic philosophy. The spiritual philosophy is senior, respected, equal friend, and neophyte have compassion. That is the Vaishnava. This is the level we have to come, at least Prabhupada said, Madhyam Adhikari. This is stage of Madhyam Adhikari. Usually neophyte has this type of feeling, I am great. Atapapyasim yonim. Papyasim yonim means he should become a demon. Asurim yahi durmate yateha bhuyo mahatam. Again, he will not criticize some great person. Nakarta putra kalbashim. Putra word she has used. It means she is not considering Chitraketu a demon. My child. So good purport for this verse. O impudent one, my dear son, now take birth in a low sinful family of demon, so that you will not commit such an offense again towards exalted saintly person in this world. Srila Prabhupada writes, one should be very careful not to commit offenses at the feet of Vaishnava, of whom Lord Shiva is the best. Where is that? Lord Shiva is the best Vaishnava. Where is that? Srimad Bhagvatam, 12th canto, 13th chapter. Gananam yatha ganga, devanam achuto, Vaishnavanam yatha sambhu, Prananam tadam idam tatha. So, the Bhagavatam is the topmost of the prana, Shiva is the topmost of the Vaishnava, Krishna is the topmost of all worshipable lords, and Ganga is the topmost of all rivers. So, Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. While instructing Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described an offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava, a Hathi Mata, a mad elephant. When a mad elephant enters a nice garden, it spoils the entire garden. Similarly, if one becomes like a mad elephant and commits offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, his entire spiritual career is halted. This is what happened to Virtasur. His spiritual career at the level of Bhav Bhakti was halted because of Vaishnava apart. One should therefore be very careful not to commit offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava. Mother Parvati was justified in punishing Chitraketu. For Chitraketu impudently criticized the Supreme Father, Mahadev, who is the father of the living entities conditioned within this material world. Goddess Durga is called Mother and Lord Shiva is called Father. A pure Vaishnava should be very careful to engage in his specific duty without criticizing others. This is the safest position. Otherwise, if one trains to criticize others, he may commit the great offense of criticizing Vaishnava. Because Chitraketu was undoubtedly a Vaishnava, Chitraketu was also Vaishnava, without doubt. He might have been surprised that Parvati had cursed him. Therefore, Goddess Parvati addressed him as Putra. O son, everyone is the son of Mother Durga. But she is not an ordinary mother. As soon as there is a small discrepancy in the demon's behavior, Mother Durga immediately punishes the demon so that he may come to his senses. This is explained by Krishna in his Bhagavad Gita. Deviyeshu gunmai mammaya dhartaya mameviye prapadyante maya metan tarantite. To surrender to Krishna means to surrender to his devotees also. For no one can be proper servant of Krishna unless he is proper servant of devotee. Charya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Paeche Keva. Without serving a servant of Krishna, one cannot be elevated to being a servant of Krishna himself. Therefore, Mother Parvati spoke to Chitraketu exactly like a mother who says to her naughty child, "My dear child, I am punishing you so that you won't do anything like this again." This tendency of mother to punish her child is found even in Mother Yashoda, who became mother of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mother Yashoda punished Krishna by binding him and showing him a stick. Thus, it is the duty of the mother to chastise her beloved son even in case of Supreme Lord. It is to be understood that Mother Durga was justified in punishing Chitraketu. This punishment was the boon to Chitraketu, because after taking birth as a demon Virtasur, he was promoted directly to the Vaikuntha. Now Chakravarti Pad writes something like this. After cursing him, Parvati thought, "I have cursed an innocent devotee." Thus, repentant, she says, "O son, just as a mother beats a misbehaving son with her own hands and has a natural affection for him, I punish you." That is the meaning. She acts as a mother should. Do not do this again. When the child behaves in someone else's house, she punishes the child and says, "Uncontrollable child, do not do this again." However, her curse did not affect Chitraketu. Rather, being born as a Virtasur increased his prem, love. Since the devotees at the level of prem do not consider any difference between obtaining a body of a devotee or a demon. So this curse has increased the love of Chitraketu for Supreme Lord. So next section, verse 17 to 25. I think our time is over. Our time is over.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, now we can have a question. I thought I will go fast and finish this chapter tomorrow. Anyway, tomorrow we have to finish this chapter. In any way,
We have two classes.
tomorrow 2 classes we'll go on to the next chapter. I saw next chapter has many verses which have no purport. Yes, now we can have a question answer, right? Okay, I am closing this here. Tomorrow we start Chitraketu will speak to Mother Parvati. I think as per schedule I was supposed to do 14 verses. So we have done 1 verse more than our schedule.
No, only 15 only. 15.
Yeah, somewhere 14, 15. Yes, what is the question?
My question is regarding what you were just reading now from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that the curse of Mother Parvati only increased the prema of Chitraketu. So my question is, because just like in the previous verse, I believe, we read, or a few verses before, we read that there was a little tinge of pride.
Yes, Chitraketu had a pride, and by
How is
the...
this on the level of prema?
Sorry?
How is it possible in
I don't
Yes.
understand how is this
Yeah,
pride, this contamination on the level of prema.
That's what I am telling. He has little pride, he was puffed up, so this curse had cursed that pride and manifested the hidden prem in the heart of Chitraketu. Curse has cursed the pride and the hidden prem were manifested.
So previous to the curse, he did not have prema yet?
This because this is Chitraketu is a Vaishnava, no doubt. This is another purpose is no doubt Chitraketu is a Vaishnava. So Vaishnava, like the Nal Kuber and Mani Grieve, they behaved nonsensely, but after the curse of Devrishi Narad, they got Krishna Prem. Bhakti bhadao bhajao kirtocha. Prema Bhakti, we chant in the Damodar Ashtak. Nal Kuber and Mani gave were offenders, but by the curse of Narad, they got the love of God. So like the Mani Grieve and Nal Kuber got love of God after curse by Narad Muni, similarly by curse of the Parvati, Vritasur got love of God. So I think the main point for our personal application is that little pride in the devotee is not tolerated by the Lord. He wants really to use some other devotee to curse him, to curse his impudent and pride and bring him back to the love of God and back to Godhead. I think upcoming purport will say Parvati from within the heart was inspired by Supreme Lord to curse Chitraketu. Because in Parvati's heart also there is Paramatma, Super Soul. Super Soul inspired Parvati to curse Chitraketu because Super Soul wanted Chitraketu to come back because Super Soul was feeling separation from Chitraketu. And it is only the love by which we can become associated by Supreme Lord. And the Vaishnava can also give us the mercy of love of God. So Vaishnavi Durga has given the blessing, curse in the form of blessing, and his love manifested. And I already told you that already Chitraketu was as the Bhav Bhakti, because his Bhav Bhakti was obstructed or halted by Vaishnava Aprad. Now as soon as he will be finishing the curse of Mother Parvati after being a Vritasura, his love of God will manifest automatically without any sadhana, without any practice. He will not practice the sadhana bhakti. His love will immediately manifest because he was already at that stage. Is it okay?
Yes, thank you.
So the pride in Chitraketu was, it is also described already, predestined.
About Chitraketu?
Pride in Chitraketu, it is already predestined, and so that Parvati will curse him.
I don't understand the question.
Was it also planned by the Lord? So the Chitraketu will have that pride and he will be cursed by Parvati.
No, Lord don't want that devotee should have a pride. This is the mistake of a devotee. But the question asked by one of the students in the class that was Lord inspired Chitraketu to have a pride? No. This is devotee's foolishness. Lord cannot never do that. Now, so it is devotee's misuse of his independence. I am great devotee.
So then what is the cause of Parvati curse? Cause of Parvati curse is pride, and that is
Who?
Parvati curse. It's a cause of Parvati curse is pride in Chitraketu.
Because that is for the benefit of Chitraketu.
Yes, but Supreme Lord wants Chitraketu to come.
Because he had a pride, so Supreme Lord wanted the pride of Chitraketu should be finished and he should come back to me without pride by becoming humble. And she made Chitraketu humble. She became instrument for making Chitraketu humble. Hare Krishna.
How does that go? That offense means there was a pride in the heart of Chitraketu Maharaj, and
I don't want to comment. We will read tomorrow. Prabhupada will write something which is very, very heavy. He says, woman has a little intelligence than a man. And he will write this in a purport that when so many saintly persons were never criticized, why Parvati criticized? Why she took it like that? The next purport Prabhupada has written some. Nobody else Prabhupada has written like that.
So, is my question is like this, that how this offense by when he will become Ritrasur, how that offense will be covered up?
Because by becoming Jiman, he went to the lowest species of life. So now all his pride of being devotee is finished. So he's become enemy of the devotees, fighting with the demigods. And then he realized, when the time of the curse over, and his pride was completely smashed, then he saw Sankarshan. And then he remembered the teaching of Sankarshan. Then immediately he came to his senses. And he just surrendered back again to the Lord that I am your humble servant. I want to be the servant of your servant. It means his pride is finished. In first verse of Chitraketu, he said, I want to be the servant of devotees. It means his pride is finished. Das, 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 anudas. That verse is a proof that Chitraketu's pride is over. There's a story when you have heard the Satyabhama was very proud that I am beautiful. The Garud was pride that I am fast moving, and Sudarshan Chakra has a pride that I am the most powerful weapon of Krishna. Then Krishna used the Hanuman to bring the pride of all three down. You know this story. So Lord never wants pride in any of his devotees. He uses some other Vaishnava instrument to bring him back to senses. So if you devotees are sometimes criticized and cursed by some devotees, it is also because you are puffed up, so they are bringing you down, inspired by God. Take it like Chitraketu, be relaxed and take that punishment humbly, then we will advance in devotional service. No retaliation. No counter cursing like the follower of Shiva and Daksha. No, Hare Krishna.
So basically, the issue was the pride of Chitraketu or the offended, Parvati offended?
Actually, the pride of Chitraketu, Lord wanted to rectify, and therefore he inspired Parvati to become angry and curse. So actually, Lord wanted to benefit Chitraketu, and she used Parvati for that purpose.
But Parvati never got relieved of Chitraketu puffed up nature.
No, she said that you think that you are greater than Brahma, you think you are greater than Bhrigu and Narad. They never criticized Shiva. Why you are criticizing Shiva? It means you are puffed up. So she said this openly. So she chastised and then cursed. And Chakravarti says after cursing she realized I have cursed a Vaishnava. So she thought, oh, after all he is my child. So it is like a caring mother. Even Mother Yashoda chastised Krishna. So nothing wrong in Parvati's chastising Chitraketu, because she is ultimately the mother of all living entities. So I think this is very sweet purpose and episodes. It has different flavors, whichever you relish. Thank you very much. Any comment or question? So Advaita is okay?
Very interesting chapter, Prabhuji.
Ajay.
Yes, Prabhu. Relishing it. Yeah. Relishing it. It's really nice. it's like also it's a good lesson. Sometimes, I mean, if you allow me a small reflection, especially in our ISKCON, sometimes we tend to think, oh, this devotee is behaving so badly, and the seniors and the GPs and sannyasis not doing anything about it. I think it's a lesson for us all here. You think that they don't know. They know, but they're not.
They are instrument in the hand of Krishna. Like Prabhupada said when he landed in America, I am an instrument in the hand of Krishna. So everybody of us is an instrument in the hand of Krishna. We have to be instrument, nimit matra bhava save sachan. Anyway, the whole 3 times this verse is quoted in this chapter, Trinadapi Sanuchena. So this verse is most important for the Vaishnavas to keep a garland and hang on the neck, and every day think of this verse and start his day. Then he will always remain humble and tolerant.
One question here, please, if you allow me.
Yes?
Chitraketu's kind of position as a devotee here. Is he an exalted Vaishnava, or is he kind of a Prakrita Bhakta, or...
No, it says no doubt. One purpose says no doubt Chitraketu is a Vaishnava. One purpose is without doubt Chitraketu is a Vaishnava. Because he is directly a disciple of Lord Balaram, Sankarshan, Nilambar. So he is directly disciple of Lord Sankarshan. He has a direct relation with Lord Sankarshan. And Lord Shiva is also worshipping Sankarshan, so they are at one same level actually. See, they both are God brothers in one sense. So therefore their talking is like a joke. And Sankarshan is the Adi Guru. He is the original spiritual master. And after all this, Chitraketu was initiated by Narad, so there is no doubt that he is a Vaishnava. Narad gave him a mantra, Sankrishnaya Pradyumnaya Anuridhaya, something like that, this mantra. And by chanting that mantra in 1 week, he directly had a darshan of Balaram. Maybe we should try to chant this mantra for at least some time if we can see Balaram. Anyway, without chanting this mantra, every day we see Balaram in Vrindavan. I think in Nectar of Devotion it is written that these things are perfectly right. They are not exaggeration, but they are only true for some persons, not for all. They are true without doubt, but they are only true for some, not for all. Those who are eligible, it is true for them. Those who are chosen, it's not for all. They can use the same mantra, but not same result. It's not exaggeration. It is true, but not for all.
So, Guruji, how to become eligible to get such mantra? How to become eligible to get such mantra?
The point, why mantra?
That's a very nice explanation.
Say, mantra is in the...
That's a very nice explanation you gave me.
Yeah. See, mantra is in the book, but if you chant, it will not have any effect unless it is given by a person who has already realized the mantra. Mantra siddha. Once one spiritual master was asked that when you are giving the mantra to your disciple, I also heard mantra. Then the spiritual master said, when somebody fire a gun, so many people hear the sound, but only the person who is targeted is killed, not the all others. So the mantra will only produce effect on the person to whom it is given, not to the others who overhear it. So the targeted person is killed, not those who are hearing this. maybe 5. It's a good example. There's a similar good example. You can have a gun, you can have a bullets in the hand of a child and he can throw and it will harm nobody. But same bullet, if you put in a gun and then use it, it will make a killing. So similarly, if you are chanting the mantra without parampara, it is like a bullet in a child's hand, which will not have any effect. The parampara is like a gun. If you put the bullet in that, then it will have its desired effect. Otherwise, it is in the hand of a child. Sampradaya vehina mantra nisphalaha. That mantra which is not given by authorized parampara is without any desired result.
I have one question.
Yes?
Hare Krishna. So we don't see other place such a mantra in this kind of name of the Chukrifyu and everything being given by Narada Muni to
Krishna.
others. So it has a very specific sort of specific disciple, specific need. Otherwise, Narada Muni will give Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya, he will give such mantras, right? So, is there anywhere else that this mantra is given? No, I haven't found.
There are some mantra like Rudrajit is a different, this is some other mantra given by Narada. There's also different people has a different liking for the different form of the Lord. Therefore, Lord has so many names, Nam Namakari Bahuda, because people has a different desire. So Lord has a different varieties of forms to fulfill their desires. So Narada has to give mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya to the this Dhruva Maharaj and Ram to the Valmiki, and Vyasdev he said something about Bhagvatam, meditate on Krishna and get verses also. This is something, I don't know how they select the mantra for a particular disciple.
He gave different mantra to Mrigari and
Yeah, Mrigari, they gave different mantra according to his level.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
I have one question. Why Chitraketu got so much controversy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Why in all this he made you had desire to have a son, then his son got killed, and then he gave.
Oh, she is asking the question, if Chitraketu was so exalted and great devotee of Lord, why he wanted the son when Angira came to his house. So this is the beginning of Chitraketu's good fortune, that he has the association of great devotee. But he was not at that time ready for advancing in devotional life, though so he had some sort of karma kand desire. So he got a son, but that son was given in such a way that he can advance quickly. So there are many examples in Bhagavatam that because the sons were not favorable, so the fathers become great devotee. There are many. There's a one wonderful verse in Bhagavatam that the father says, it is better not to have a son, because having a bad son is more dangerous disaster than having no son. So there is a variety in Bhagavatam. So Chitraketu has to advance quickly, but his good fortune started by the visiting of a great devotee. So devotion starts by mercy of a devotee. But Chitraketu needed a double engine. So Narada also came. So Angira himself, one alone is not able to uplift Chitraketu quickly. So there's a double engine. Narada and Chitraketu both quickly uplifted Chitraketu from the lower level to higher level. So two at a time. This is called a double engine thing.
In glorification of Bhagavatam, there is one story of Atmadeva and he wanted his son, and then
Atmadeva's son is Dundukari.
so that is also same. He is also.
But Atmadeva was a miser Brahman. He was a miser Brahman. He was not a devotee Brahman.
Because the Gokarna says now your son is to go forest to
So different contexts have a different reasoning. So there is a different context of Atamdev and his son Dundakari and the other son Gokarna. That is the pastime of glorification of Bhagavatam and Padma Puran. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Recording stopped.